You guys care more about your conservative beliefs and ideologies than fucking freedom. Sorry, but that's the opposite of fucking freedom, you.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of The Dave Show. Before we get started, I just want to thank everyone that has gone and purchased some authentic Idle Hands merch. It really does mean a lot and helps support the channel and helps me keep producing this content for all of you to enjoy. And today we have a brand new design. It's dementia, and it's the definition of what dementia is. Somebody in the comments wrote it this way, and I thought, oh, that would be a really clever idea for a t-shirt. And so here it is. I hope you enjoy it. Pick it up, and if you can, if you can't, I totally understand. But in any case, let's get on to the show. 10,000 subscribers. Let's do it. President Trump and the nation received some good news. It appears that inflation is down, eggs are down, mortgage rates are down. In fact, gas is down at an all-time low for 4 years. 4-year all-time low. It's pretty impressive for him only being in office for less than 2 months. But let's see what President Trump has to say.
We have great inflation numbers, by the way, just got released. Inflation is way down, and it's based on what we've done, and we've done it in a very short period of time. You know, we had virtually no inflation. For 4 years, we had almost no inflation, and when these characters took over, we went from no inflation to the worst inflation probably in the history of our country. We're bringing back our country in many ways, not only financially, and financially we'll be stronger than ever before. I think the markets are going to soar when they see what's happening.
President Trump is explaining his case again for reciprocal tariffs and how they will, in fact, help make America wealthy and strong. Once again, help the economy recover from the train wreck that President Biden left it in. So take a listen.
We're going to be doing reciprocal tariffs. So whatever they charge us, we're charging them. Nobody can complain about that. Whatever it is, we had a problem with Ontario, and they dropped that when I let them know what we were going to be doing. They dropped it immediately, so I'm glad, because electricity you shouldn't be playing with. The United States of America is going to take back a lot of what was stolen from it by other countries and by, frankly, incompetent U.S. leadership. This country needed somebody to defend it. It's this big, beautiful place that was being ripped off.
The Department of Education was slashed by nearly 50%, and a lot of people were laid off, and that is a good thing because it means a reduction in government overall. And it looks like President Trump is going to be pushing to send the Department of Education back to the states, and will be, I think, a lot more control over what's going on, and I think hopefully it'll help, bring up the education of our children, because it can't get much worse than what it is right now. Take a listen.
We have a dream, and you know what the dream is? We're going to move the Department of Education. We're going to move education into the states, so that the states, instead of bureaucrats working in Washington, so that the states can run education, where the parents of the children will be running education, where governors that are doing a very good job will be running education.
With all that has happened recently to the Department of Education, of course, the unions are freaking out. The president of the teachers union, Randy Weingarten, is just all combobbled, and she is, I've never seen her more frantic in an interview. She definitely, I think, can see the writing on the wall. The gravy train is over. Now, I'm not exactly sure how the unions are tied into the Department of Education and education as a whole. I think there needs to be like a separation somehow. This teachers union needs to, I think it needs to go personally. Take care of the teachers, make sure the teachers get a good pay, but I don't know. It seems to be too intimate with the Department of Education. Anyways, take a look. She's going crazy.
The federal government does not control education. The states do. Local school boards do. This is about opportunity. That is why so many people are so mad about it, because they're just taking opportunity away from kids that don't have it. So billionaires, kids of billionaires, they have it. They go to private schools. Everyone else, 90%, go to public schools. Don't take away their opportunity.
So let's stay on the facts.
Sorry,
no,
I'm
do
really
not
angry
apologize.
about this.
No, because this
I'm
is what
really
people
angry.
need to.
The EPA is also jumping in and cutting some regulations, 31 of the Biden regulations, which is going to help free up some of that red tape, reduce costs overall, and it's going to be a very good thing for the country to start putting some life back into this economy. Check it out.
EPA will be reconsidering many suffocating rules that restrict nearly every sector of our economy. Today, the Green New Scam ends as the EPA does its part to usher in the golden age of American success.
Bernie Sanders said that this is the most scared he's ever been, which is kind of weird that he has lived through the Cuban Missile Crisis, 9/11, and COVID. Yet the dawn of the golden age is the scariest time? That doesn't make any sense. Check it out.
These are, the scariest times in my lifetime. That's all. I mean, I think that's objectively the truth. He is now trying to end what the founding fathers were pretty smart about, creating a form of government where there were checks and balances, a legislative body, an executive body, and a judiciary.
I think Bernie is a little irked and annoyed that Elon has purchased Twitter, now X, and that Elon is now the gatekeeper of a lot of the messaging that goes out, that the Democrats are no longer able to have that tool in their toolbox to manipulate their message and to prop them up and to promote their propaganda. And that's a lot of P's, and I apologize for that. But hey, check it out. It's I don't know. It's the same old diatribe. Take a look.
It is not just they want to give tax breaks to billionaires and cut programs for working people. Frankly, that's happened before.
Yeah.
But you combine that with the power of the oligarchy in general. You combine that with Mr. Musk owning Twitter and able to send out his messages to hundreds of millions of people. It's not only the power of money, it's also combined with that, the movement toward authoritarianism.
I was a little distracted from that last clip because of the way Bernie Sanders was sitting. It was like super, I don't know, feminine. Can a guy's hips, should they really be able to do that, sit in that way? And then what is up with the podcast host, like sitting like a little teenage girl, just being like, looking at somebody they just absolutely adore. I don't know. It's just weird the way they're sitting. So anyways, here are a few more stupid asinine things that we've been paying for that Doge has brought into the light. And wow, this stuff needs to stop. Seriously.
And what are these programs for working people Musk's cutting? Could it be the $750,000 to examine social networks among Black and Latino sexual minority men in New Jersey? Or $700,000 to study cannabis use among sexual minority gender diverse individuals? $100,000 for assessing sexual health for gay Latinos in the agriculture community? $600,000 for teen pregnancy prevention for trans boys. Thank God. No more boys are getting pregnant. It's an epidemic.
With all the crazy spending that the Democrats are doing now, back in 2011, they were apparently like pro-Doge, even though they didn't call it Doge. They were all for cutting the waste. Take a look.
Yes, you do have to cut some programs. I think there's waste out there. I think there are programs that can and should be cut.
Again, we all agree we have to get rid of waste, fraud, abuse, duplication, obsolescence, and the rest. The GAO has given us a blueprint for that, and we subscribe to that. We all agree that we must reduce the deficit.
There's tremendous waste in government, and I think any Democrat who ignores the lessons, the lessons of those who voted, the lessons of the last election, makes a mistake. The people did want government to cut out the waste and to shrink.
Stephen Colbert thinks he's funny, his staff is not talented at all, and they can't come up with anything original. Here he is making fun of President Trump and Elon Musk the other day when when President Trump was purchasing the Tesla.
All of that. And you end it with, I love Tesla. But you know what? It's an honest mistake. He just mixed up the two words most associated with Elon Musk, Tesla and Hitler.
The mainstream media, of course, is throwing some faux outrage and getting the vapors because President Trump has deemed anybody that attacks a Tesla dealership, and I believe he also said pretty much any American company, will be deemed domestic terrorists. But then they go on to say, oh, but of course, if you, do January 6th and try to overthrow the government, that you get a pardon. That absolutely ridiculous. They're missing the point here, as usual.
Overnight, have this post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal. He said today he would label violence against dealerships domestic terrorism. So just to be clear, you protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist. You show up at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th with the intent to overturn a fair and free election, and you get a pardon.
There is a bottomless pit for faux outrage, and the Democrats can just draw it up at will and spew it out to the American people. They are now, of course, outraged. It's completely just insulting that President Trump, how dare he drive a Tesla in front of the White House? He didn't even drive the Tesla. He just had the Tesla vehicles there. But of course, this just won't stand.
Just turns your stomach at what they do to help one another. What do you think Americans think of that when they see Trump pushing Elon Musk, the richest man in the world's Teslas? A man born with a limousine, who for the rest of his life will be driven by Secret Service, was supposedly buying a new car and checking out his EV options. What a joke.
He turned the White House into a car show trying to help put a floor under the plummeting stock value of Elon Musk's Tesla.
The hypocrisy runs pretty deep with the Democrats, and they seem to always forget that there's this thing called video, and lo and behold, it actually records past events, and they have conveniently forgotten what Biden did in front of the White House involving a vehicle. Check it out. Elon Musk's heart is in the right place, but you can start to see some of the stress that is occurring with him trying to help the government save waste and also trying to keep his other businesses afloat. He has lost over $100 billion so far, but he's not backing down. Take a look.
So it's a call to action. You're hearing a call to action.
Yeah.
You giving up your other stuff? I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty. Yeah, I mean...
But there's no turning back, you're saying?
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient, eliminate waste and fraud, and so far we're making good progress.
Newt Gingrich talks about how the Dems used to love Elon Musk and how the golden age of America is going to be here, but it might take a year or two to start really showing the fruits of President Trump's labors.
Former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich joins me now. So the Elon Democrat relationship's quite interesting. Sometimes you got to break up to make up, but maybe not, Newt.
No, I think this is real, and I think it's for a good reason. The Democrats went nuts, and Elon's been pretty open about this. When you look at their policies, you look at their values, they are a dead end for America. And I think he genuinely came to believe in the last 2 years of the Biden administration that they were so crazy, they were so out of control, that you really had to do something very dramatic to get control of the government. And, they're going to make some mistakes. It's going to be challenging. But on the other hand, 82% of the American people think that Washington is corrupt. Think about it. 8 out of every 10 Americans, according to an America's New Majority Project poll, 8 out of 10 think their government is corrupt. Now, you can't survive as a free society if you have a government which is so despised by your own people. And that's why I think what Schumer announced today, that he's going to not help keep the government open, he's going to stand and fight. He's on the wrong side of history, and the American people know it. The American people want this government to be smaller. The American people want something like Doge. And every time Elon releases another set of really stupid spending, I think people look around and go, wow. They kind of knew it was bad. But even as much as I've studied the government, I didn't know it was this sick and had this many things that are totally indefensible.
So Chuck Schumer is going to shut down the government so we keep funding a program to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep teen boys from getting pregnant.
Well, I think if you're Schumer, these are all your allies. Remember, the people getting all this money tended to be liberal Democrats. It's the teachers' unions, the government employee unions. It's the various left-wing intellectuals in the universities. And all of them were getting money from the taxpayer. They loved it. They thought it was fabulous. We have an education system where the teachers' unions have basically destroyed the capacity. Over half the 8th graders cannot read at grade level. And if you watch, there's this chart. It goes straight up for how much we're spending and straight down for how much we're achieving in education. And of course, if you're the people who are writing that chart and you've been getting paid every week, it's unfortunate that nobody's learning, but at least I got my paycheck. And now along comes Donald Trump, and he says, maybe we need to shake the system up so kids actually learn. Well, the teachers' union's horrified. I mean, this would end the gravy train.
Well, the kids are learning. They're just learning how to transition into the opposite sex. Boys are getting pregnant, and we're spending a lot of money to stop that. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Newt. It is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. And I don't understand why Democrats say, you know what, Elon, you got that one. Let's knock that one off. Why can't they say that?
I don't know. Look, I think things like having a major research project on transgender mice would be in the same league. I mean, some night, because you're always very funny and you're always very good, some night you ought to find the 10 or 20 truly dumbest things and just run them.
Transgender mice, preventing teen boys from getting pregnant. I mean, we're off to a hot start. What about this new line of attack that Democrats are saying that Republicans are for the rich? Is that going to stick?
Well, I think Republicans ought to say we're for everybody.
They are.
I mean, we actually think you ought to have a chance to get a job, not just be on welfare and be dependent. You ought to have a chance to open a small business. You ought to have a chance to have take-home pay. I mean, a lot of these are very bold ideas. You ought to have a chance to go to work. And I think that we want to be the party. And if you watch what Trump's doing in terms of massive investments in the future of this country, we will presently see a boom that is going to be unlike anything we've seen in a very long time, because we're having more and more people deciding this is the place they want to build, this is the place they're going to manufacture, and you're going to see an enormous comeback of American manufacturing, and that means an enormous comeback in jobs for Americans.
Well, hopefully the country has the patience for the boom, because the way the media covers these stock market swings, you'd think it was the Great Depression. You have a little more patience than the press, Newt?
Well, it's not just that. Donald Trump, as a businessman, went through this. If you read his fabulous book on the art of the comeback, I mean, he's been through recessions. He gets it. You know, the other side of the recession is called a recovery. Reagan got into office. He inherited a terrible economy from Jimmy Carter. Once the Reagan tax cuts went into effect, they have something like I think Larry Kudlow said the other day, 15% growth in the first quarter after the tax cuts went into effect. So if Trump, and Mike Johnson's been doing an amazing job as Speaker with a really narrow margin, if Trump can get one big, beautiful bill through, ideally by late May, and you have the tax cuts, you have the deregulation, you have the energy supplies, you'll see this economy booming by next January.
All right. And Newt can get himself another tie. Mr. Gingrich,
Yep.
Mr. Speaker.
I'd like to have at least 2 ties. Right.
Thank you so much for joining Jesse Waters Primetime. Always a pleasure.
What is going on with London, with England, and their just absolute lockdown on free speech, especially social media? I don't understand what their fear is of social media and, you know, posting fart jokes or something. But they said that if you post something online, even if you're not living in England, they're coming for you.
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard and maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we will come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problems for communities.
England threatened extradition and arrest of U.S. citizens over what we post here. Tyrants. I don't think that could actually happen, but I don't know. Like, it would be interesting if they tried to snag somebody that lives in America and bring them over there to get. Geez Louise, what a train wreck. Okay. They're lost. I just saw a vid of the mayor announcing new social benefits for migrants. Ay, ay, ay. The UK is racing towards all-out civil war in the next 3 to 5 years. Numerous people have been warning about this and are being ignored. Well, it does seem, I've seen several videos where the youth, especially the young men, are really starting to get fed up with all of the immigration stuff bending over backwards for them and ignoring the citizens of England. And it is a, I think it's simmering. It's simmering right now, but I think it's going to come. I think it's going to come to a boil. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, beginning. It's a fascist authoritarian garbage heap, and I'm surprised the people haven't armed themselves to initiate an insurrection. I don't know if it's coming, but it seems like it's heading in that direction, and I wouldn't blame them. The country is it's going down the toilet, quite frankly. I am so glad I saw London when it was still London. Yeah, that's so sad that somebody has to say that. And to further the insanity of what London is doing to try to clamp down on free speech, they're putting up advertisements for people to ditch their X accounts. I don't think this is going to go the way they think. Take a look. Yeah, free speech is dead in the UK. They don't want people thinking for themselves. Keep them blind, keep them obedient. Ooh, yes. Yeah, don't inform yourself, and in a decade, your country will be a caliphate. Ooh, there are definite areas of England that are, I guess, predominantly Muslim now, which is kind of shocking. This literally will gain more X users. I think so. It's like telling a little kid to not play with a toy. And what do? They go immediately and pick up the toy and start playing with it. That's funny. All right, here is a clip that it never gets old. And actually, a viewer commented on seeing something about this just the other day. And I was like, oh yeah, we covered that in a previous episode, but it just popped up again. So I was like, hey, why not just throw a classic in there? But this is an expert talking about butt babies. Take a look.
How does a man get pregnant?
It's called rearing a child.
Are you sure?
With all due respect, sir, I'm the expert here.
I'm confused. What hole does the baby come out?
They're called rectal births or butt babies.
This has aged extremely well. Look, everyone, she is a professional and knows what she is talking about. She is the professional. It's over. Back in my day, horrible. Blowing a tranny was a car trouble. Oh, gosh. That's funny. This needs to stop. Trust the science. Male, female, male. 120 degrees, 90 degrees. Oh, okay, I see. The angle of the... Okay, yeah. So boy, girl, and then it says, not that science. Trust the science, but not that science. There's only certain science that we want to trust. Oh, boy, what a clown show. Okay, I had to watch it over and over again. It never gets old. Butt babies! No way she said that with a straight face. Sadly, she did, and she believes the hype, and I think she smells her own farts. I don't know. Butt babies? What? Why does it seem that always, and I mean always, whenever there is somebody that is aggressive on the street, it is always a trans woman. A man that thinks he is a woman is sucked into this delusion, this mental illness. I don't know if it's the ones that are taking hormones to jack up their whole entire body. I don't know, but they always seem to be the aggressors. You rarely see a trans man doing anything, okay? I don't know. Check out this next clip. It could have turned out much, much worse. But fortunately, this guy's okay. And all he was doing was practicing his First Amendment rights. Check it out.
Harder, but you need to try less being like somebody you're not and start to humble yourself and be somebody that God made you to be. He didn't make a man to be a woman. He made the man to be a man. He didn't make the woman to be a man. He made the woman to be a woman. And this is the truth. What are you going to do? Come attack me now? I should. Hey, man, that's up to you. If you want to pull that on me, well, God bless you. So you just threatened me with a gun. You just pulled a gun on my face. Man, Lord have mercy on you. This means that you don't even know who you are. Nope, I still love you. Even though you pulled a gun on me, I still love you. I still bless you.
Transgenders are mentally unstable men who pretend they are women. I would really love to see the breakdown, the percentage of the men that think they're a woman as compared to women that think they're a man. Because it seems it is super lopsided, like, I don't know, 80-20 or something like that, of that less than 1% of people that claim they're trans to begin with. I don't know. If there's a study out there that somebody's seen, let me know, because I would be interested in knowing. The mental illness, yes. Why are trans clowns always so violent? Trans clowns. Well, their makeup is to something else most of the time. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. That was my point. Enough of the news, my friends. Buckle up. You're about to enter the Lib Zone.
This video is for non-binary people. It's okay if your gender confuses people. You owe nobody an explanation of who you are, where you came from, where you're going, what your transition goals are, if you have any. You owe nobody an explanation about how you feel about femininity or masculinity or what those terms mean to you.
And you shouldn't be sharing them with anybody and expecting anybody else to be identifying you in your delusion. Okay? So I'm glad we're on the same page. Yes, keep it to yourself. You don't need to share it.
You owe nobody an explanation of your gender. Your gender is yours to do what you want with it for your entire life. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. Own it.
I hate to break it to you, but misandry isn't a real thing, just like reverse racism isn't a real thing.
And I look forward to telling some out there that comparing apples and oranges is not the best way to make a logical point.
Yes, you can be hateful and prejudiced towards men.
And what's that called, everyone? That's right. That's called misandry.
That's
but men
right.
will never be systematically oppressed for being men in this society like women are.
I still have yet to see any evidence actually provided that shows where women in the Western world are systematically oppressed in any shape or fashion. But just so that some individuals out there are aware, systematic oppression is not required for misandry to exist. Where do these ideas come from?
Misandry is literally a response to misogyny.
And sadly, some individuals out there have convinced themselves of that, so therefore they consider it okay to hate an entire demographic based on attributes that they cannot control.
Yep.
Now, what does that sound like?
While we can all agree that hate in any form is not a good thing, misogyny kills women on a daily basis while misandry is hurting your feelings.
It's really amazing how some out there do try to justify hatred of others, isn't it?
I'm divorcing my husband because he booed Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl, and I still don't think he believes me, to be honest, but he might want to start, because I just filed my paperwork at the courthouse, and you can see right here, the date of separation is this year's Super Bowl.
What? Come on, this can't be real. Wow, if this is real, she is a horrible person. And quite frankly, I think this guy, if this is true, is dodging a bullet. Good riddance to this woman. Jeez Louise.
I'm not just doing this because of the action of booing. I am doing this because of everything that it represents in our relationship. I have loved Taylor Allison Swift since I was 12 years old.
So you love Taylor Swift more than your husband? What a buffoon.
My husband even likes her too. Like, he'll put on her music when we're cooking together. He has a favorite song. It's Girl at Home. But we were at the Super Bowl. It was...
Okay, just real quick. He may like Taylor Swift, but I seriously doubt that. I'm pretty sure he's rocking to Taylor Swift because obviously he knows that you love Taylor Swift. So he's trying to, be a good husband. And you're quite frankly being a horrible wife and just quite frankly a horrible person.
Me, him, and 5 of his buddies, and when they put Taylor up on the Jumbotron, all of his buddies started booing, and my husband joined in.
Oh, no.
And that just tells me everything I need to know about that man, because he didn't care that would hurt my feelings.
Oh, yeah, it's all about me. Oh, no, my feelings are hurt. Oh, boy. What about the vows that you took in marriage, right? Good times and in bad? I'm pretty sure bad would include booing Taylor Swift. What a stupid woman.
He just wanted to fit in with his boys. He didn't even care that that's not even how he actually feels. He just wanted to look cool, I guess. And that's not a man.
I'm pretty sure that is how he actually feels. He was just letting that out. It was probably a mistake on his part for, keeping up the facade of liking Taylor Swift. But, anyways.
That's a boy. And when you see that, you can't really unsee it. So I'm divorcing him. Thankfully, I have a prenup. I'll be retaining all of my assets as well as the assets that I inherited. With peace and love, he probably will not be returning to the Super Bowl anytime soon. So that's one less booer for you, Taylor.
So I guess she's now has to be a lesbian because a boy will be a boy and all boys are pretty much like that, unless you're going to date a soy boy, a beta male, a Kamala bro. But if you're going to do that, you might as well just date a woman anyways, because that's pretty much what you're doing.
I love you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, gosh. Oh, don't do that.
And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And
okay, now do Vivian. Now do trans people. This is so fucking stupid. I was on FaceTime with my husband. He is in Quebec. And I was looking at the weather and I was like, holy shit, they changed it to Gulf of America. And he looked at the weather on his phone and it still says Gulf of Mexico. So I think it is still Gulf of Mexico for the rest of the world, at least based on my very unscientific experiment. But let's keep dead naming this shit, y'all, because this is the only thing we're allowed to dead name, by the way.
Yeah, this is it, because we deem it necessary and okay to dead name, but don't you dare dead name a trans. Oh my gosh, that's just like breaking the seventh seal of horribleness. These people are so retarded.
And Twitter and Mount Denali. But as long as this administration is going to keep needlessly attacking trans people and freaking out about pronouns and DEI, we're going to keep dead naming this shit, because if they're going to be petty, we can be petty too. And of course, there are way bigger fish to fry, but sometimes it's just fun to be petty when somebody else is being petty, because this shit is ridiculous.
Hi, what's your sign say? Bands off our bodies. What's that mean to you?
What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to me?
Yes.
Well, I'm not holding the sign. That's why I asked you.
I only speak to journalists with
I'm not a journalist.
Integrity.
I'm not a journalist.
Yeah, yes you are. You're just a...
No, I'm not.
You're an on-air media person, and you have no integrity, and I have no desire to speak to you.
How do you know anything about me?
Goodbye.
What's my name?
Goodbye.
What's my name?
Goodbye.
You don't even know anything about me. I'm at a women's
my
rally.
Body, my choice. My 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 body, my choice.
So what? But what does that mean?
My body, my choice.
But what does that mean?
My body, my choice.
So stupid. I mean, she is at a women's rally, apparently, but there seems to be a lot of guys there. I'm sure they're beta men, some Kamala bros in attendance. But these women are so irrational and they're so filled with hate, and they don't even know what they're screaming about. They have no idea who this lady is. They have no idea. I mean, it's through the whole entire time she was here at this demonstration, she was getting this kind of a treatment. And it's just stupid. These liberal women are the worst.
But what does that mean?
To fight for the demands that we want and to win socialism. Thank you so much.
Quick point of privilege. Quick point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Guys, first of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus.
I've got to get out my my mug here because the tears are going to be overflowing and I've got to keep up. Otherwise, I'm going to be drowning. This clip is so hysterical. It's an older clip. We've actually covered it in another video quite a few months ago. But yeah, it's so stupid that people can't even keep up with how ridiculous all of these pre-qualifiers and using of pronouns and all these anti-triggering words and whatever actions. Nobody can keep up because it's just absolutely ridiculous. And they're all mentally ill, but take a listen.
Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade.
Shut up.
Okay, is there a speaker against
Comrade.
chapter pronouns?
Privilege. Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
She's like, what the freak are you talking
Quick point
about?
of privilege once again. Quick point of privilege once again.
They can't even get the meeting started because everyone in the audience is triggered by something else. It takes them like 45 minutes to get this stupid meeting going.
Hi, James Jackson, Sacramento DSA, he, him. I have already asked people to be mindful of the chatter of their comrades who are sensitive to sensory overload, and that goes double for the heckling and the hissing. It is also triggering to my anxiety. Like, to be comradely isn't just for, like, you know, let's keep things civil or whatever. It's so that people aren't going to get triggered and so that it doesn't affect their performance as a delegate, okay? Your need to express yourself is important, but your need to express yourself should not trust.
As a woman
Your need to express yourself is important as long as it doesn't trigger me. These people are absolute buffoons. I don't know how they function in real life. All right, let's check it out.
Make you a woman.
I trust people to be an expert in their own gender. If someone has been living as a woman for 15 years...
What does that mean, living as a woman?
Well, it means what I've said.
Well, what does it mean? What does it mean to live as a woman?
Can't define it.
I don't really know how I can answer the question again. If a trans woman has
wear
been...
dresses, you read certain books, you like something, what does it mean? I mean, not every woman lives wearing a dress, not every woman wears makeup.
No, indeed, and that's a much larger question about kind of gender discourse and feminism more widely. But my point is that if someone is a woman, has lived as a woman for many years, needs support because they've experienced misogynistic abuse, I want them to be able to access that support. It's as simple as that.
So just in case you missed it, Kamala Harris just announced she will be dropping out of the race for governor of California to focus on her bid for the 2028 election. She just made this announcement this morning. I know we're fatigued. It's because they want us to be. No, 3 years seems like a long time to fight. I'm holding out for Kamala.
Please, Kamala, please, 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 please run. It'll be another sweet, sweet victory for JD.
Also, if you don't find it highly fucking concerning that the President of the United States just rounded up and arrested someone for their First Amendment free speech.
Right.
He was a legal U.S. resident, and now he's revoking his green card because he didn't agree with what he said. He didn't break any laws. He didn't incite any insurrections.
Yeah, he did.
Trump. But yet he arrested him and is going to revoke his green card and deport him.
Yeah, that's because this guy, see, she's not telling the other side of it. And we covered it in, I think, yesterday or the day before, the video. This guy, I don't even know his name. It doesn't matter. He is a pro-Hamas guy who's actively coordinating these campus rallies of students and getting them all whipped up and in this fervor of pro-Hamas, anti-American rhetoric and talk and speech. And yeah, that is actually against law. I don't remember what statute it is, but yeah, they can revoke his green card for doing those type of activities, and that's exactly what he did. So, out of here, buddy. Good riddance. See ya.
Because he can. If you don't see a fucking problem with that,
no problem.
I don't know what will make you open your eyes. I really don't.
Trump supporters genuinely don't give a fuck about freedom. Our individual freedoms are getting taken away left and right. You guys care more about your conservative beliefs and ideologies than fucking freedom. Sorry, but that's the opposite of fucking freedom.
If you come into my work with some Donald Trump propaganda on, you're getting harassed. You are getting harassed. I don't make the rules. I just follow them.
So the rule of your employment is to harass conservatives? What kind of employment are you at? That doesn't make it. That'd be very counterproductive for the establishment, I would think. I think they'd lose money.
Harassed.
Harassed.
Harassed. Hey, dog. Pew, pew. I don't care how old you are.
When you say,
oh,
do I feel like, those are just feelings. Feelings come and go. I might feel constipated 1 minute and let out.
Did she say constipated?
Some gas periodically and feel better the next.
Part of the problem that the trans community is facing, and it's the same problem that women face, is if you don't know anything about our bodies, you don't know how it works. So when you come in and you say, oh, you know, these are men, you know,
competing
against women. You're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything except be here. Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing.
How is it that Whoopi Goldberg is this absolutely stupid? I think it's more like, it seems like she's kind of trolling her own side. She cannot be this dumb. Okay, she cannot look at a female athlete who's in the top of their game, right? And then look at a male athlete who's in his prime. That is not apples to apples, lady. There is no contest. The man will dominate the woman in anything they try to attempt, because it's biologically fact that men are bigger, they're stronger, they have bigger lung capacity, their bones are denser, their muscles are just more twitchier. It's like, there's no comparison. And you're an absolute idiot, Whoopi, if you actually really believe this propaganda that you're spewing on the most toxic show that is on television right now, The View.
So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue.
Well, it's an issue because men are physically stronger than women will be.
Yeah.
That's just science and biology.
I love this guy. It's so good. It's funny. It's time for Dave's Detox. It's cute.
Don't consider tonight, sir. Hey.
Grabbing her clothes?
Hey, don't even think about it, Mr. Sue. Texas. Really, you took it all.
That's funny. That's got to be kind of terrorizing for the squirrel. Unless the squirrel's just completely jacking with the dogs.
So somebody left a water hose dripping on a dog.
Oh, nice.
And them manatees are up here just drinking away. There's another one right down there.
That's awesome.
They're pretty docile.
It's drinking a lot. Oh. Oh, boy. Sing it, buddy. You got this.
You might be a spoiled pig.
Oh,
when
boy.
Daddy holds the umbrella for you in the rain.
I assume it's going to the bathroom. What? Oh, brother. Oh, yeah. Aww. That is a very loving dog. Aww, they're best buds. Oh, don't tease the dog. Aww. Oh, wow. It's a double Dutching poodle. I guess that's more of a single Dutch. Oh, nice. That is a spry cat. All right, well, that was a good detox. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. And if you did enjoy the episode as well, please subscribe, like, share, slap that bell around. It does make a difference for when you get notified when I put up another video. And please tell everybody you know. Just tell everybody about Idle Hands, trying to grow the channel and grow our community. And I just want to say that you guys and gals are the best. All right, until the next episode, stay safe. Know that you are loved and appreciated. And of course, until we meet again, have a great day.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear.